Hello, welcome to Convict Inc. I'm your host, Robert Rosso. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. If you like this video, please push like and share it with your family, friends, enemies, neighbors, etc. YouTube channels, media, whatever. Before I go any further, usually I have flies buzzing around. There's flies everywhere, and I've been saying this every video. I got a wasp and a bee around me right now, so if I grab the fly swatter in the middle of the video and hit it, I'm under attack. That's just how it is out here in the country, man. They're all over in the house. Sucks. Anyway, stop snitching. We're seeing t-shirts, we hear it in the movies, we hear it in rap songs, other music, and it sounds good, right? But here's the truth. And I've said this many times before. Give me 10 people on a drug conviction, 8 are gonna tell. If not all 10. 8 are gonna tell if not all 10, okay? But let's not focus on that right now. My focus on this video is actually the ways that people tell in the feds. And there are numerous ways. And let me tell you something. Don't let anybody tell you that there's not a whole bunch of snitching going on inside prisons. Let's be clear here. Let's do federal prisons. Don't let anybody tell you that these federal prisons are solid and there ain't snitching, because that's a goddamn lie. So excuse my language. I know some people get offended when I say that, and should. So anyway, here's the deal. There has been informants since the beginning of time, Judas. So let's just go with that. There's been informants in prison since the beginning of time. And I would assume, since I wasn't there back in the day, that this was generally done through people that are cooperating with staff, wardens, whatever. But there are numerous ways to tell now, and there's only getting to be more and more as technology advances, I guess. So when I came into the federal prison system, of course you had your inmate rats. And let me just say something about that. One of the ways that people start telling in prison is they get busted for like something like a drug test, for example, okay? And the common thing I think they used to try to tell people was give me 3 and walk free. So give me 3 dudes that are dirty, or give me some kind of a drug bust and you get out of your dirty urine. Very common. And all you guys have been in the feds, how many people have you known that were dirty? Dirty, dirty, dirty. And all of a sudden they beat the test. They say they put it in water. Now I have put it in water too. Back in the day, you used to be able to flush a toilet and put some water. All those tests have changed, okay? I have spit water in a cup. You hear about people that put water or some liquid in a honey bear, like a little honey bear, little honey bottles. There's a bear, and they would put it in the head of their and try to send the water up into your bladder. I'm going to tell you something. As somebody who's has bladder cancer and who tried that trick in prison, the way that people were explaining it, I think that's bullshit. I think all those people who ever said that they beat drug tests on the honey bear bottle are all hot. That's what I think, okay? Because I have had to catheterize myself. And if you guys have been watching this channel, when I was out on supervised release starting in 21 till I went back in into 23, 24, I used to catheterize myself and put fluid up in my bladder with the catheter. You can't just shove it up there with the honey bear bottle. You have to have more, like a straw or a catheter, okay? But let's get off that. One of the way people tell they get busted for a drug test. One of the ways that people do it on the down low is they drop kites. That means putting a note or a letter in the mailbox. Back in the day, there was legal mailboxes. There'd always be a legal mailbox in prison. Sometimes in Center Hall, people go drop legal mail in there. I will assume that was one of the ways to drop notes and not be detected as well. Then you've got the regular mailbox. I have seen people walk up with a letter, but then there'll be a note beyond it. So they're like sliding in the mailbox. So really they're dropping a note. That note will say, this is going to go down. This person has drugs. So it's dropping notes, and they do that in the general mail. And I assume legal mail back in the day, because the legal mailbox, like I said, Leavenworth and Lewisburg, they're in Center Hall and stuff. That would have been a real easy for somebody to do. But since that time, things have advanced. So they put hotlines up in prisons. So you now got snitch lines. But before the snitch lines, You had guys that were already cooperating that were given numbers to the lieutenant's office or captains. Or I read a report once on a murder at Leavenworth that happened in 1998 with Jeremy and Scott, these two kids. Damn, these freaking flies. Guys had the home phone numbers of certain staff members. That came out by the Alabama shot caller. I forgot his name now. His kid reached out to me a long time ago, but he definitely. I read that he had one of the staff members. I don't know if it was lieutenant, SIS, whatever. He had his home phone number. But these snitch hotlines are posted up, and people call these hotlines. And I'm going to add here something. People talk about guys that have life sentences. You would think that I've heard stories, I went into a lifer cell and this lifer, yes, guys that have life sentences that have nothing to lose could be dangerous. But usually what happens is guys that have life sentences usually don't want no smoke and want to live as free of drama as can be. And a lot of those guys, especially when they got older, became rats. I've seen that happen so many times. And don't in the comment section, they're going to say, did you drop notes? Did you drop? Because stop all that. So my point is I've seen so many lifers that have turned hot just based on the fact that they just want no smoke, I guess you'd say. And then they start kind of identifying with staff after a while if they've been there for a long time. State prison systems, I would say, are different. The feds had a lot of lifers that were drug offenders. And a lot of us had hope, okay, that we were going to get out. When you've got a murder charge or you're sealed and you lost all your appeals, you have a heinous crime or something like that, it's different. Guys with nonviolent life sentences, especially after Obama, we had big hope of getting out, okay? So, but forget that. I can name guys that have been down 30, 40 years. Man, they were hotter than fish grease. So there's that, okay? One of the newer ways now is through the email systems. So in the feds, we have what's called TrueLinks. TrueLinks is a inmate computer system, so we can do direct messaging to staff. There's Core Links on it, which is a service that's on the street, so it connects people in the inside to people on the outside. It's called Core Links. A lot of people know. But what happens is you have a messaging to staff, and in that messaging to staff, it'll say SIS, which stands for the. I always get this wrong. Supervisor, inspector. Oh man, somebody put it in the comment section. Okay, it's special investigating service. Special investigating. It's SIS. Okay, the institutional Gestapo. So you can write an email directly to SIS. Now, when this first came out, if you sent an email to SIS, dudes were getting busted on snitching because guys would go say, come on, let's go to the computer, walk them to the computer, make them open up their email, and then we look at their messages. And in those messages, sometimes were to SIS telling on people. That happened. I saw that happen at Terre Haute, FCI, Butner too, for sure. But that is one of the ways now. So I am not advocating for people to cooperate, nor am I some kind of, institutional rats. Look, I believe that we need informants, okay? I even believe that there are guys in prison who are gang dropouts or whatever, that if they choose that route and they really give up that life and they really want away and they go in these PCs or dropout joints, you know what? That's fine too. The problem I have is when they come out here and get on YouTube, or they start talking about that life. Just shut up. Just go away. You dropped. Just drop out. And it's not lost on me that informants can also provide good information on things like the YouTube. I just don't like giving people the platform to do so much. That's just how I feel. But getting back to this no snitch stuff, there's no such thing as stops. There's no such thing as this big culture of people that aren't rats. You put people in the right situation and you'll find out who your friends, relatives, husband, wife, mother, father. Man, people are treacherous. My advice is to not to commit crime, not to go to prison, and not to join a prison gang. But if you do all three, don't tell on your people. Don't tell on your people. And if you do, then go away silently. You did the right thing in your mind. Maybe you did the right thing in the eyes of being a citizen. But don't get on YouTube and talk about this gang life and all that life. And I'll say that. You know what the problem with that is, though? Again, I go back to how many people would tell. How many of the average citizens would snitch? Most, right? So these rats on YouTube actually have a big platform because most people in society would snitch. Or you know what I'm getting at? I make sense to me. I think I'll make sense to you too. But I just wanted to say that this came up in my live last night. Some guy asked something, and I talked about the inmate computer systems and how people can write directly to SIS and how there's snitches hotlines. And so I decided to do a video about it today. I will not post this. Today is Monday. If you see me in this shirt of several more videos, it's because I'm going to do a few videos. I still, at 6 o'clock, have to figure out what I'm going to do for my Mob Monday tonight. You guys will know that in just a few hours, but this video, bringing it up, might be a day or two. All right, take care. Thanks for your support. Thanks for all the new subs.